Lyre of the Lion by TheNightNinja2, Chapter 5, I'll Always Burn Brighter. The morning sun woke Mirabelle long before the weird ringing from something. Now, why was everything so blurry? And what was that ringing, and why was the bed different and the room tiny? Did she break into the wine cellar and pass out in the larder again? No, that wasn't right. There wasn't a bed in the larder, and she didn't have a splitting headache. Yet. She almost shrieked as the floorboards moved that Aslan-forsaken ringing device closer to her. And then the shelves knocked something into her lap. Glasses? She hadn't needed those since she was 6. Oh. Wait. She put them on and slowly remembered she was back in the Encanto, in the nursery of Casita, not home in her massive bed at Cair Paravel. That explained why her handmaids hadn't shown up yet. She put on the dress she made yesterday. At least it was comfortable. She headed down to breakfast, steeling herself to be ignored. Picking at her food, she listened to the chatter of the family and Abuela's talk about where they would use their gifts today. "And where will you be?" asked Mirabelle suddenly, forcing herself to speak Spanish when her brain wanted to speak English. The whole family looked at the 5-year-old. "Mirabelle, do not speak unless you are spoken to," scolded Abuela. Mirabelle rolled her eyes and grabbed a few arepas. "Well then, I'm clearly not welcome at this table. I asked you a legitimate question, and you conveniently chose to scold me instead of answering your granddaughter," Mirabelle said harshly, before getting up and walking away, holding her composure like Susan often would when annoyed, stiff but graceful. She walked off to her mango tree, laying in the shade. The growing clouds overhead meant the sun would not last long if her aunt couldn't get her anger or anxiety under control. No one would come looking for her. Abuela would convince them not to. She sighed and climbed the tree. It had only been a day, and she was homesick. She wondered if the Pevensies missed her. She knew they did. Meanwhile, in a world without magic of any kind, in a place called England. "Oh, Peter, Mirabelle must be back with that neglectful family of hers, and back to being 5 again." "We can't do anything but hope we'll see our baby sister again someday, Sue," said Peter sadly. "What about Narnia? All our friends, our kingdom lost its rulers and its beloved princess in a single day," said Lucy. "I know, Lou," sighed Peter. "Is there any chance Mirabelle stayed in Narnia?" asked Edmund hopefully. "I don't know. We can hope right now. That's all we have," said Peter. "I miss her," cried Lucy. "We all do, Lou. But I bet she misses us just as much, if not more," said Peter, hugging his little sister. 5 Pevensies are back down to 4, lamented Susan. Mirabelle sighed. She was bored. None of the mangoes were ripe enough to shoot down, and there weren't any parties being thrown. At least none she'd be allowed to attend. Maybe her father would let her play the piano. No, that won't do. Abuela would scold her for touching something that wasn't hers. Maybe the musicians in town had a harp she could play, or something else that was like her beloved lyre. She sighed and climbed down from the tree. Walking through town, she saw her sisters working. She smirked a little as she saw Isa trying to imitate a regal pose and dance gracefully. Her attempt seemed to make Abuela happy, but Mirabelle could tell it was sloppy. Walking over to her sister, and decided to impart a little advice. "You look like you're forcing it. Your expression needs to be softer, and your back is too straight. Also, you're focusing on every step you make instead of walking with purpose," said Mirabelle. Isa almost jumped. She hadn't noticed her little sister there. "What would you know about how I should be walking?" sneered Isabella. "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me," said Mirabelle before walking off, just like the princess she was, leaving a stunned Isabella in her wake, staring at the effortless grace of the 5-year-old. The musicians were still playing as they saw the giftless madrigal girl walk over to them. "Could I play too?" she asked in her innocent, childish voice. Blah, that sounded wrong. She was 20, not 5, despite how she looked. One of them smiled and patted the stool next to him. Mirabelle spotted an Arpa Leonere and quickly ran over to where it stood. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. Hopping up on the stool, she began to play, losing herself in the music, not caring that people were starting to stare. This hop was a bit different than the ones she was used to, but it was close enough. She hummed along to the tune. It was the one she had played during the Battle of Beruna so long ago. Her brother's battle cry in her ears from the times she had accompanied him into the battle later in her life. As the great bard of the Lion, who could rally an army with a single note, whose presence instilled hope wherever she went. She was the morning sun in the darkest night, burning bright in gowns of gold, orange, and yellow to every battle, dancing high above on a hill like flames of a candle, playing her marches to the battle below. She opened her jaws and saw the crowd, the madrigals slack-jawed among them.
"Giftless my arse! She's never played the Arpa before,"
muttered some people. "But she doesn't have a door," said another.
"What was that? I almost cried,"
came another voice. She hopped down from the stool and strode away, her dress sweeping the ground. She decided she wanted her battle gown back. She wanted to be fire again, to shine brighter than the candle. Walking into the seamstress's shop, she figured an apprenticeship would be the easiest way to show off her skills and get something she needed for her outfits.
"Hello, Mirabelle. What can I help you with?"
smiled the seamstress. Mirabelle had been in here often with Alma before her gift ceremony. "I was wondering if I could be your apprentice. I want to be useful and make my family proud," said Mirabelle.
Blah, was that how she used to talk?
It was so hard to remember to speak Spanish, not to mention playing the little girl who just wanted her family to notice her. She knew they never would, so she hated even trying. "Well, you're a bit young, but I've seen some of your work, and it would be a pity to let such talent like that go to waste," said the seamstress. Then she looked out the window and saw the crowd talking amongst themselves. "Goodness, it seems like something's got the town in a tizzy," she said. "That was me. I was playing the Arpa and played something I made up," said Mirabelle.
"Music and sewing. Wonderful skills for anyone to have."
"It's such a shame your family can't do things they enjoy. Those gifts seem more like a curse than a blessing," said the seamstress, shaking her head. Mirabelle got right to work. The seamstress might not be Mrs. Beaver, but it was nice to be sewing for someone again. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that one. I love this little 5-year-old aka 20-year-old Mirabelle not taking shit from anyone and showing them, yes, I'm talented. What are you going to do about it? Love that energy. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.